Well, good evening, everybody. Michael Soothing here, coming to you with a very important public service message, which I intend to demonstrate personally. Namely, I'm just going to show you some of the things that a diabetic or a pre-diabetic is never, ever allowed to eat, so that you will know that people like myself will never eat these items under any circumstances. Okay, so the first thing, first I want to show you what the kind of thing I can eat if I want a little sugary treat. Glasses are always crooked, aren't they? There we go. Now I can see you better. I can eat something like this. Lovely dried apricots. Those are pretty healthy, and they don't have very much sugar in them, so those are acceptable. And they only have, let's see here, these have only 15 grams of sugar in 6 of them. So that means if you had one, you'd only be getting 3 grams, right? So, no, wait, 5 of them, right? If you had one, you'd be getting, 3. Or is it 2.5? Yeah, 2.5, so very little. And they have iron and vitamin A and calcium, just a little bit. Some good fiber, These will keep you regular. So this is what I can eat. So what I'll do is I'll put this aside for some future time, okay? We'll put that over there. And then I'll show you what I cannot eat. For example, ginger is good for you. It's spicy, but it's good for the digestion, and it's good for other things. It's good for calorie burning because it has some of the same kind of stuff like pepper, raises your metabolism. But you're not supposed to get it in the sugarized, crystallized form like this. Most of this is gone already. I'm not sure who had any, but I certainly am not allowed to have it. Let's see, it says here, produced in a facility where peanuts and tree nuts are processed. That's in case a few ions float over and get on the ginger, right? From some other crystallized ginger. Let's see what the nutrition. I can hear the sugar pouring around in there. Listen. You can hear it pouring from one end to the other. Wait, we'll get the gingers to move. Look at it. You can see it in the bottom. Look at all that sugar down there. Wow. So you can see why it's not okay for someone like me to have any. This has 150 calories. That's a lot. How much sugar? 37 grams of carb, which is about 15% of your daily allowance. 33 grams of sugar. Way more than the apricots. So let's not have any of these because we're just simply not allowed to if you're diabetic. But if I did have any, I would tell you that it's very yummy. That's a loud banging noise. I hope I don't have to edit that out. The next thing I would never ever eat is a chocolate mothball. Oh no, wait. That's not a mothball. That's a malt ball. If it was a mothball, it really would be very toxic, wouldn't it? I'm trying to remember what the poisonous stuff is in mothballs. But anyway, my GF had a video recently where she said that I called these mothballs, but I think I was explaining to her that we used to say that when we were kids and we didn't know any better. But it's really not a mothball. Don't put this in your closet hoping to eliminate moths, because instead you'll attract ants, okay? So I'm not going to have this because it's got way too much. See? I didn't eat it. I only had half. Doesn't that look yummy? It's got someone asked for a mukbang. One of you subbies. And I promised to make one sometime. Why have I gotten obsessed lately with straightening out my glasses on camera? I don't know. The next thing that we're not going to eat is any more of these Haribos. There's a jingle about Haribo. You saw it on my other video. And I don't remember the tune itself, but it's "Kids and grown-ups love it so, the happy world of Haribo." So let's make sure that we don't eat any of these Valentine hearts. We'll just set those down over there and let somebody else snack on those. All right, so the next thing that you should never ever eat I feel like I should spit that out, but it's too late now. So I think I need some water to wash all this down. But since I didn't eat it, I don't have to. Okay, the next thing is Hazelnut Heaven. Hazelnuts are not normally heavenly to me, but if they're encased in intense dark chocolate, then maybe they might be. And actually, this is not so bad for you if you're diabetic, as long as you just eat like one square of it, because this, being dark chocolate, doesn't have that much sugar in it. It's got 180 calories in how many? In almost half the bar, half of this huge thing. So there's 2.5 servings. So that's really not bad. That means about 220 calories for an entire half of this giant thing. That's not bad at all. How much fat would that be? 14 grams, which is about 21% of your daily allowance. But what about the sugar? 15 grams. That's really not bad at all. This is allowable, but only in small servings. All right, so 1 square, no problem. As long as you're going to go take a walk or something, later. This much is almost non-existent compared to what they said a serving size was. So I don't have to feel in any way guilty over that one. I'll put that aside. Now, the next thing that we're not going to eat is when I was on an exercise walk earlier, catching little pocket monsters known as Pokemon on my phone, which some of you are going to say, yeah, why is a 60, well, I'm not going to tell you my age, why is an old guy going around catching Pokemon? Well, it's because it's fun, okay? And it causes me to have an incentive to have walks, long walks. But sometimes you can defeat the purpose of your walk because there is a wonderful bakery down at the terminus level of one end of my walk, and that bakery has some very yummy things like this. I don't know what you call this, but whatever you call it, it's really good. I don't know this from personal experience, but I've been told it's really good. So, you know what? This is so good that I'm quite certain it has to be really bad for you, because everything that is the most yummy in this world is really bad for you. Some people are going to dispute that. Healthy people who eat fruit are going to say, why don't you retrain your palate and just eat fruit? And, learn to love that because it's healthier for you. And to those people I say, you're absolutely right. But the reality is it's never going to taste as good. Of course, maybe if I was to starve myself for 2 or 3 weeks and then eat a piece of fruit, it would probably taste as good as a giant rack of cookies or brownies or a chocolate cake. Now, the last thing that we're not going to eat, this has to be the worst, the absolute worst thing for you. I show you this in my Walmart haul. There were 6 donuts in here. Where did they go? Well, I'm not the only person who lives here, right? So, who knows? Somebody said they had half of one. So that leaves 1.5 donuts unaccounted for. But you know what? There's not just 2 of us here, because if you listen closely, you will hear the pitter-patter of tiny little bird cockatiel feet in the distance. And I'm pretty sure that little cockatiel got loose at some point and ate one of these donuts. Don't you think so? I'm guessing that's where it went. I don't know. Do you know the weird thing about donuts like this? If you put them out on a table, they vanish mysteriously one by one, but you never see anyone eat them. I remember at work when I used to be in my rocket science position, you could take a big box of donuts and you could put them on a little table by the coffee machine, and everyone would claim that they don't eat donuts. But if you walked in there every few minutes, more of them would be missing, but no one ever copped to taking any. You'd never see them eat the donuts. They would just vanish, like bubbles popping in the air, The donuts would just disappear. And if the box was in the break room for more than an hour, it would be an empty box. And that was proof that no human beings were eating them, because what human being would be so rude as to take the final donut and then leave the empty box sitting there when there was a nice big trash receptacle for that box to go into? Yet it would never happen that way. So it had to be gremlins or something else eating the donuts, or maybe they were being transported into some other dimension by mysterious forces. Maybe the USS Enterprise Star Trek USS Enterprise was beaming them up somewhere. Now, let's just check and make sure that these are not supposed to be eaten by anybody with diabetic tendencies. You know how in the old days they had those people that would test food for the emperor to make sure it's not poison? I am testing this for you pre-diabetics to make sure that it is poison, so that, I mean poisonous to diabetic, so that you won't be tempted to go out and buy anything like this. And the way that I'll know whether it's not okay to eat it is, of course, if I really like it, then it's not okay to eat it. Well, I really do like it, so obviously you should never buy any donuts, okay? Now, somebody just came over. Some ghost came over, took the rest of that bite to make sure I didn't finish it off. I think she has a vested interest in keeping me around a little longer, don't you? And so, I have a birthday coming up soon. And you know how you always rationalize things that you're not supposed to do, but you want to do them anyway? What I'm doing right now is I keep saying, oh, I'm not going to buy these goodies anymore. It's just for my birthday. And then I'm supposed to kick off my new spring-summer health program, restart it. I was doing really good with it all through the summer and the early fall. And then everything in my life took a horrible turn for the worse, and for a few months, and so I've just been ignoring the health thing, but I am going to kickstart myself again the day after my birthday, which is right around St. Patty's Day, as it turns out. So maybe I'll have something green. Aren't you supposed to? I would always forget to wear something green to work, but no one ever pinched me. So I got off easy. If I was in some other places, I would get pinched. Of course, some of you might not mind getting pinched. I think it has to do with who is the pincher and who is the pinchee, right? So that might have something to do with it. So I promise you that the day after my birthday, in order to see another few birthdays, I'm going to be back rigidly on my diabetic health, nutrition, exercise program. In fact, it will be easier than ever before because I'm now here in Oregon. And even though it's been raining continuously for 3 months now, very soon it's going to become really nice spring weather. And I'll be able to hike trails all over the place around here. And I intend to hike for many, many miles and hike the beaches, the lakes, the streams, do a lot of fishing and a lot of hiking, a lot of photography. And I'm going to do some nature sound ASMR videos too, for those of you who might like that. I know it's not everybody's thing, but somebody might like it. Alright, so would you like some real, authentic ocean waves? I'm not talking about those endless loops that those frauds on YouTube do, where they go shoot 3 minutes of ocean wave and then cut and paste it into an 8-hour thing, okay, that's just repeating over and over, like a mouse running on a treadmill. I'm talking about genuine, in-person, filmed it myself, recorded it myself, big thundering ocean waves. Also waterfalls and streams and such things I will do over the summertime, and periodically I will come to you with one of those videos. I'd like to do two varieties, one with no talking and one with soft-spoken rambles or whispers, because I know some of you would like one and some would like the other, right? So I'm here to please everyone, but you know what they say. You can please. No, I'm not going to use that old cliche, because I don't like cliches. They make my head explode. So instead, I'll just say, if you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe. And if you like mukbang close-up eating video ASMR, check out my GF's channel, Scorpio NYT. I'll link, if I can remember, I'll link to one of her videos, one of her recent videos. And what else? Oh, last but of course not least, don't ASMR and drive. Just don't. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.